All right, kiddos, this is assignment 2C for statistics. This should be the last lesson of Unit 2. So Unit 2, as I said, was very, very much cut down from what it used to be. So what you've seen in the last two videos is, in essence, what the test is going to be. So there's a quick review of histograms and Paretos, so know how to identify those things at least. And then the other part is going to be these frequency tables. And again, these frequency tables have a little bit more math involved, so I thought it'd be prudent to give it a couple days, a couple lessons here, so we can understand these frequency tables. I will do I did a much better version of this in assignment 2B. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about when I'm talking about these frequency tables, stop this video, go back to assignment 2B and do that first. It's all the backstory behind all of this stuff. So today what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing these frequency tables, but I'm going to be doing at a much quicker pace. I'm assuming that you know how to find the magic number. I'm assuming that you know how to make a rough draft. I'm assuming that you know what a relative frequency is, things like that. If I'm assuming too much, as I said, go back and do assignment 2B. You don't belong in this video right now if you don't know what I'm talking about. All right, so assignment 2C is just all of that stuff, and I'm just going to be doing it at a quicker pace. So here we go. All right, so what I need to do to create this frequency table is I need to find the magic number. So what I do to find the magic number is I take the biggest number, subtract the smallest number. This is going to be the range. The range is 46. I'm going to be taking these 46 numbers and I'm going to be splitting it into 5 different equal-sized groups. So I'm going to divide by 5. Again, regardless of what this number is, small, big, or perfect, you always make that number bigger. So the magic number in this case is 10. On to the rough draft. When I make my class boundaries, I always begin with my smallest number. In this case, that happens to be 15. And then what I do is I increase by the magic number, not going to the right, but rather going down. I add 10 going down. I keep adding 10. And then I add 1 extra time. So I don't technically need that 65, but it will help me out. Because I need to know, where do these class boundaries end? So for instance, this first class boundary begins at 15, but where does it stop? Well, to answer that question, it stops right before the next one begins. So if the next category begins at 25, this first category would have to end at 24. In the second category, where does 25 go to? Well, if the next category begins at 35, this category has to end at 34, right before the next one begins. So 1 less of the next one. So thus, the reasoning for that 1 extra number. I need to know, where does that last class boundary end? Cool. So that's my rough draft. What is the actual class boundary? Well, the lows get lower by 1/2, and the bigs get bigger by 1/2. So the lows get lower and the highs get higher. So 15, a little bit lower than 15, is 14.5. This goes to 24.5. And now these things are now touching. So the lows are lower and the highs are higher. Outstanding. Next is the midpoint. And what this midpoint is referring to is the class boundaries themselves. Now, again, it doesn't matter, for instance, in the first category, if you use 15 and 24, or you use 14.5 and 24.5, you'll get the same answer either way. Again, how you find the midpoint is you add up the two numbers. Let me try that one more time. You add up the two numbers and you divide by 2. So, for instance, in this first category, I'm going to add 15 and 24 and divide by 2. And as I said before, it's okay to have a 0.5. 0.5s are in the middle of things. So that would be the first class boundary. The next one would be in between 25 and 34. So also notice that these are going up by the magic number. So what you can do is you can cheat the system here a little bit and just add the magic number to these numbers as well. Frequency. Frequency is just physically counting. How many numbers belong to the first category of 15 to 24? So what I do is I go to my number list up top, and I count up all of the numbers that are between 15 and 24. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. So that is a frequency of 9. The next one is 25 to 34. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Next category is 35 to 44. Next, I have 45 to 54. And then lastly, I have 55 to 64. Okay. Okay, so jumping categories here, I'm going to go to the cumulative frequency. What the cumulative frequency is, again, is the frequencies added up to that point. To the very first category, adding all the frequencies up, it's just 9. To the second category, it'd be the 9 and the 4. To the third category, it'd be the 9, the 4, and the 5. Then be the 9, 4, the 5, and the 6. And it's the 9, the 4, the 5, the 6, and the 7. This is a great time to double check that your number is correct. And so again, how I find all the numbers, I see that this is 4 deep and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wide. So that's 32 numbers, but you'll notice that there is 1 number missing. So there should be 31 numbers grand total, and there is. So good job. Relative frequency is a percentage. So that's the individual number divided by the total. The individual frequency divided by the total frequency. So that would be 9 divided by 31. 4 divided by 31, 5 divided by 31, 6 divided by 31, and 7 divided by 31. I want the 4-digit decimal of these answers. So 9 by 31, 4 by 31, 5 out of 31, 6 out of 31. Take a pause right there, as my dog would say. 2903. 1290, 1613, 1935, and then 7 out of 31, 2258. Cool, cool, cool. Draw a a rough version of the histogram, so that means bars touch. So what I do is I begin with my bottom bar, and I see that this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different categories. So just make them equal width. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's pretty good. And these are the class boundaries. So this starts at 14.5, goes to 24.5. That goes up to 34.5. Goes up to 44.5, 54.5, and 64.5. Okay, those are the class boundaries. The height of this is just arbitrary, and what I do is I make this all in kind of step with the largest category. So the largest category is that 0.29. The 0.29 is the largest relative frequency. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to make this, for instance, 0.3. Just a little bit bigger. It's an easy number. And so if this is 0, this would be 0.1. This would be 0.2. And then just kind of roughly make this. Okay, again, we don't have rulers and things like that. So 0.29 is pretty close to that 0.3. 0.12 is kind of low on the 0.1s. 0.16, a little bit past half of the 0.1. 0.19, that's almost 0.2. And then 0.22 is a little bit beyond the 2 lines. Okay. So I know that's a really, really, really rough, but that's the idea. It's a histogram, bars touch, or approximately at the correct height. So that's what you get. Woo! That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about a number set. Holy cow, that's ginormous. I'm not scared though. It's never met me before. All right, so here we go. We need the magic number. So the big minus the small, divide by, excuse me, as you were, 360 minus 236, divide by the number of categories. So I see that my table is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Categories. 6 different categories. Divide that by 6. I got 20 and some change. That always goes up to the next bigger number, so that is always going to go up. Even if it were a perfect 20, it would go up. So 21 is my magic number. What does that do for me? Well, I start with my smallest number, and I increase by this magic number of 21 going down. So I increase by 21. These will end one less of where the next one begins. I make the lows lower and the highs higher. I'm going to have to make these a little bit bigger, and I'll shrink them down here in just a second. See what I can do to actually make it fit in here. Writing with a crayon or something. All right, that's about as good as it's gonna get right now. Right. So that's where they belong. Okay, midpoint. You add up the numbers and divide by 2. Jeez. Right there. So add them up, divide by 2. 236 with 256 is 246. These will also increase by the magic number, which was 51, right? Whoa, geez, way off. Let's try that again. 246 by 21. That'd be good. That's a lot better. And then I always just kind of check the last one to just kind of make sure I didn't kind of goof up or something like that. So 341, 361, 351. Okay, we're good to go. Frequencies. Okay, huge number set. We need to count. So 236 to 256. So I'm just kind of look, where's 256? Oh, shoot. It's literally a number right there. So that would be 4. 4. The next set ends at 277. Again, physically a number there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next set ends at 298. 298. Ooh, this is going to be a big one. 298 is physically a number right there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. That's a big one. 319. 319 would end right there. 319. So this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 again. Okay. I was just double counting just to make sure I didn't make a stupid counting error. Here we go up to 340. Up to 340. Woo! Almost the rest of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then 341 up to 361. This is right. 341 up to 361. Just going to go through this process one more quick. Huh. Oh, it goes up to 360. Oh, jeez. I was having a slight heart attack there. Okay, so so that is 1 and 2. I totally forgot. I didn't see that bottom 360. I did originally. I'm like, wow, this is looking really bad. All right, so there's 2 numbers there. Woo! Feel a lot better now. Okay. Cumulative frequency. Cumulative frequency is the frequencies added up. So that's 4. So that's 4. 4 plus 5 plus 17 plus 17 plus 12 plus 2. 57. Let's hope that there's 57 numbers here. So I'm going to ignore that number just temporarily, and I see that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 deep by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wide. So that's 56 plus 1 makes that 57. So there should be 57 numbers, and haha, they're all accounted for. There are 57 numbers. So again, I'm matching that up with the very last cumulative frequency. Okay, relative frequencies are like a percentage. It's the individual number out of the total. So the very first one is going to be 4 out of the total. That's 57. All right, here we go. 4 out of 57. 5 out of 57. 17 out of 57. 17 out of 57. 12 out of 57. I'll worry about the last one in just a second. So 4 out of 57, 0, 7, 0, 2. Make sure you round your numbers. 0, 8, 7, 7. 2, 9, 8, 2. Okay, this is the same thing, so it'll have the same answer. And then 12 out of 57, 2, 1, 0, 5. And then last but not least is that 2 out of 57, 0, 3, 5, 1. Cool. Draw a relative frequency histogram. All right, so there are 6 categories. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, going up to approximately 0.29. So this is going to go up to, in essence, 0.3. There we are, and so start, actually I need to put the class boundaries on here, sorry. So this is 235.5, 256.5, 277.5, 298.5, 319.5, 340.5, and 361.5. Okay. Now everything's labeled properly. Okay, so the very first one is at 0.07. So almost 3/4 of the way up. 0.08, just a smidge higher, but still lower than the 0.1. 0.29, almost up to that 0.3. Just shy of that 0.3. Just shy of the tippy top. 0.29 again, so the exact same height. 0.21, just a little bit above 2. And 0.03, ooh, really small. There it is. Histogram, bars touch, and go up and down. All right, that should be it, everybody. That is the very last lesson. Again, this will be on the test, as well as pretty much identifying or creating a Pareto chart. So again, if you have forgotten a Pareto by now, what it is a bar graph that goes downhill. Ta-da, the bars are separated and they go downhill. Got yourself a Pareto chart. Histogram, bars touch, they can go up and down, and then this is your frequency table process. Those 3 things are going to be on the test. Yeah, that's what it is.